Feels weird not seeing anything on your end. I just see myself.
You can go. Oh, I think it's popping up now.
What's popping up?
Yeah, it's on. Okay, we have it on YouTube now.
All right, perfect.
All right. Right now it says I have two people waiting.
Does that mean it's not on right now?
It's on right now. If you actually go to my channel, you can see it. It's a little bit behind though.
Yeah. Usually it seems to be a little bit behind.
What was that? 'Cause I was having trouble hearing you.
No, usually it's like a couple seconds delayed, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a good 5 seconds delayed.
Yeah. So what do you think about this slate?
I think there's no value at all.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue in situations like this, where if Jimmy Butler wasn't back yet, like a huge, there would be so much opportunity in this game. It has the highest over under.
Yeah,
But now with Jimmy Butler, you see people like Kendrick Nunn, and they're priced as if Jimmy Butler's not there.
yeah,
Jimmy Butler's
exactly.
going to end up taking so much usage. It's gonna take a couple games for the prices to go back down for these people.
Yeah, I mean
So
they're still got him priced. I mean, look, Kendrick Nunn is priced at 6,000. Solo DZ says fade everybody.
yeah,
I mean,
no, I really agree with that.
probably
Like
should do
the
that.
Yeah, well, the projections they like Kendrick Nunn still,
I like
but
I
that's
like I
because
like Kendrick Nunn still. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
I mean he could put up 20 in his sleep.
yeah, and I agree with that. I just think we haven't seen his role with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's their big off-season signing, whereas Kendrick Nunn's a G League rookie.
Yeah,
And on a three-game slate, we're gonna have to differentiate our lineups a little bit. Like you're gonna have to, you don't want to just eat chalk through the whole thing. And Kendrick Nunn's gonna be super chalky because of how he's been, but I really can't see him getting the usage at 6,000 with Jimmy Butler
yeah,
on the court for 30, 35 minutes.
yeah. He's gonna have to score over 30 for him to be decent value. Which I mean, it
Yeah,
is
I
possible. He's gone over 30 every night. Um, who knows what's gonna happen with Jimmy Butler? You know, one guy who, I mean, he still really hasn't done much yet is uh is Tyler Hero. Like he still hasn't gone off yet, and I think they still got him in the 4,000s. Let me see.
I know he got priced up on FanDuel.
They priced. Oh,
I
did they
so on
actually?
DraftKings he might be yeah on DraftKings he might be in the 4,000s. I know last game he was like I think 5,300. In which case I don't think he really has the upside. Like
52.
I
Oh,
think
they
he's
have him.
someone
Yeah,
that
they have him at 5,200 on
yeah I think
FanDuel.
yeah and usually on these small slates I like to get like as much value as possible so that I can pay up for a couple studs, and it generally works pretty well for me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's
So someone like Tyler Hero, especially like Gary Harris, he's 4,900 right now on FanDuel, and I'd much rather pivot. Like I wouldn't want Tyler Hero when you can pay less money for Gary Harris, where
yeah.
he hasn't done that much this year, but his minutes are still there, and he still can easily get 5x value for you.
Oh yeah. I mean that
So
he's done it in the
I
past.
think that's a much safer play.
What did he average? Like 29, 30 last year?
Yeah, he was before his injury he was in like the mid 6,000s on FanDuel.
Yeah.
The issue is the Nuggets, they're so deep, and I think that depth actually gives us a couple like value people so that we can get more studs in our lineups.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, if you run the optimizer, it's probably going to do exactly. Let me run it right now. Oh, it actually, for FanDuel, it did pick up none. It picked up Trey Young, Gary Harris, Jimmy Butler, Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, he's been getting the minutes. They're on a minute restriction, but it's a 30-minute restriction.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
that's
just got bumped up to
yeah,
30.
that's not much of a restriction for someone like him who's $3,700. He just hasn't been shooting the ball well. So,
Yeah.
uh, we haven't projected 20.24. I don't think that's, I don't think that's out of the realm for him to get.
Yeah, especially if he gets like 5 more minutes or so.
Exactly.
Let's see
You
how how many minutes did he get with his restriction the past couple
uh
games?
in the 20s, I think it was like 25 to 20 to 28.
Hold on. He got 26 minutes last night versus
Yeah.
Philly. He got 12.8.
But still, I mean, 12
That's with two
it's
steals.
hard
So at
to
least,
only get 12.8 if you're playing that many minutes. Like that's hard to
yeah,
do.
no, exactly. The opportunity is definitely there for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, honestly, man, I mean, it's this might be one of the nights where you kind of trust the optimizer. Um, you 50/50s. There's I don't really see much upside in the GPP. This is one. I mean, you had to get lucky to win a GPP in a night like tonight.
Yeah,
Um, it did pick up Myers Leonard, and he's getting the start. He's just playing bad. He's turning the ball over. He's missing his shots. But he should. I mean, with getting the start, he's minimum priced on FanDuel. He should hit 20. We got him projecting for
yeah,
16.35, and it still picked him up with only that with that projection. But he could easily get 25 for you if he could just play better. He
yeah.
just needs to play better, which he's capable of doing. He played better in the preseason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he did pretty well in Portland, like through the past couple years. Like he definitely can produce for you. Also, like Jokic is the high price center that we could play today. But I've done pretty well playing low price centers so far this year if I haven't liked anything too much because it opens up so much room.
Yeah, it did.
So
Last
I
night, I
actually
mean,
played him.
last night I had, and I think you had him too. You had Okafor, and he didn't really do that well. He only had like 15 points, but what was he like $3,800,
No, he was
3,600?
3,600.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
still it's not going to kill you. If Drummond ended up getting to 60, it would have been a lot harder for
yeah.
us. But because there wasn't any center that went off, that like savings we got, it really opened up the rest of the lineup, and I cashed in all my lineups last
Well,
night with
besides
him at
Embiid,
center.
but no one even owned Embiid because
Yeah, Embiid was like
he's
0.7% owned
yeah.
though.
No, I mean
Um,
it really did open everything up. It allowed us to get Harden and Westbrook. Uh, who else did I have last night? I and I ended up putting up like 330, even though I had Marquise Chris and he didn't really do anything. It wasn't until after 7 o'clock that they said he's gonna be coming off the bench, which kind of screwed me over.
yeah. Well, that always happens in fantasy. I hate
Yeah.
that. You always get the news like 3 minutes after lock.
Yep.
Yeah, when I had Myers Leonard, I had him 2 nights ago, and I got 383 points, and that's with Myers Leonard getting, I think, like 16, no, like 13 or 14 or something. So that's really a testament to the fact that if you have all of your other the higher priced options going off, that those savings it can really open it up for you, and it's not going to kill you. So I could see why the optimizer would like him.
Yeah.
I am actually a little bit interested in Kelly Olynyk tonight. He was questionable, but I saw the news that he's going to end up playing. I don't have much interest in a lot of these people in this game, but I think Kelly Olynyk, he could maybe differentiate your lineup a little bit.
Yeah, he might be. He
And if
might
you
be
look
one
at
of
his
those. He might be one of
production,
those sleeper guys. Um, you know,
that's what
it's
you need on these small
and it's Myers
slates.
Leonard. I mean, right now the optimizer's picking up Myers Leonard just because he's mid price, but if he continues to play crappy, Kelly Olynyk's gonna get a lot more minutes. Um, yeah, he's one of those guys. You could put him into one of your other lineups, but he's not gonna be in my main lineup.
Yeah. Well, the thing with it is even if this is what we see with the Clippers with Zubac, he always starts, but he gets like 15 minutes a game. So sometimes we get the news that someone's starting, and it makes us think like, oh, we got to lock this guy in right away. And we saw with Okafor last night the same thing happened. He got a couple quick turnovers, and within a couple minutes, he was already out of the
Yeah,
game,
exactly.
sitting at negative fantasy points. He ended up making up for it and almost hitting value for us. But that happens a lot of the time where we see someone starting and automatically we pivot to that person and we don't take into consideration things like, well, maybe on the second unit, this person is gonna like have complete control of the ball, have the highest usage, and then slide that person over to the starting lineup. Suddenly, that person's the fifth option, and they have more opportunity, like theoretically, but they end up doing worse. So that's something to consider. And if you look at Kelly Olynyk specifically, this is I'm really interested today in him.
Yeah, he definitely has
He
upside. I don't think
he's
LeBron's
he
gonna.
was getting the minutes before his injury. He was getting in the mid 20s
Yeah,
every
yeah.
game
There was
the
one
first
point
two
where he was,
games.
last season where they were pricing him at $65,000 to $7,000. Um, I just got news in. Um, Let me see. Let me confirm this. Yeah, so Hero's gonna be coming off the bench with Jimmy Butler coming back. I was wondering who was gonna go to the bench, but yeah, they got Hero going back to the bench. So I take back what I said about Hero's upside. I mean, he still has upside tonight, but that's definitely gonna cut into his minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like many Heat people. Like I said, they all got priced up because of Butler being out, and we're going to see a completely different team, I think, with Jimmy Butler playing than what we saw the first couple
Yeah,
games. Even Justice Winslow, who I really love, his role is pretty much like a point guard. He's a point forward for them, and Jimmy Butler is going to have so much more time with the ball
yeah,
now, and he's priced up to 7,500 on FanDuel. So it really makes me reconsider if I want someone like that.
yeah. But I actually think if you run it, because I still haven't projected 33.82. I think it picks him up. Oh no, I take that back. It picks up LeBron and Cam Reddish at small forward.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, LeBron's gonna be that because there's not too many options at small forward. You know what's interesting? It
Yeah,
is the default picks up Jimmy Butler even at 9,000. I think that's just a testament to how few shooting guards there are tonight, and just
yeah,
overall how little
no,
value there is
definitely.
tonight.
Yeah, I really don't like this slate that
Yeah,
much. There's no opportunity really tonight.
yeah.
What do you think about Trey Young? I know the Optima. I really like him tonight.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got a lot of upside. Might want to get a little bit of exposure to him, but I could. I also think there's some upside to fading him tonight.
No, yeah, yeah. Depending on what he ends up getting you, I don't think there's going to be. I think like the defense for the Heat isn't good enough to really contain him, though.
You don't think so? I think he's gonna see a lot of Justice Winslow, maybe even a little bit of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I don't.
Some ca-
I feel like Jimmy Butler is more of a playoff defender at this point. I say this as a Sixers fan. We saw this all the time last year where we had no one to guard the point guard. And because of that, we had Jimmy Butler guarding point guards sometimes. And we had one of the worst defenses against point guards in the league last year for like fantasy points. So Justice Winslow could slow him down. But Trey Young, if he's playing the way he has been, I think he's severely underpriced still.
yeah, yeah. It's I mean he definitely has huge upside. But what
Yeah.
do we have him projected for? I think in the low 40s. Let's check out a little
Yeah,
bit more of
42.
Trey Young. Yeah, 42.3. I mean, it's kind of hard to get him any higher than that looking at what he did last year and uh just overall he's been tearing it up this season, but I mean, how long do we think that's going to sustain for?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how sustainable the kind of production. he was doing to start the year is able to happen for. We even saw last night with the Sixers that he had a monster first half. It looked like he was going to potentially get like 60 points, but he really slowed down in the second half. And now it's also a back-to-back for him.
Yup. What's your thought on John Collins tonight?
I actually I have John Collins in one of my lineups. I think like him, the team first of all goes through Trey Young and John Collins, and the Heat, they have like a severe lack of depth at the front court positions right now, and especially with James Johnson not playing
Yeah,
too.
I think
And I
I
don't
think
think
he might. I think that the Heat might play a little bit Chris Silva.
yeah, yeah, you're more knowledgeable on the Heat than I am.
Yeah, I think we might see a little bit of Chris Silva.
Yeah, I think John Collins is a solid play though. I'm looking to pay up at power forward tonight. But Bam, I think Bam at 7,800. That's still a good price for him too.
Yeah,
Like the Heat, they love Bam Adebayo, and like he's just able to produce so much. He's getting a lot more assists this year. He's able to get a ton of stocks,
yeah,
getting a ton of rebounds. So like he produces across the board. He's someone where even if he doesn't score a lot, he's still going to be able to get you value for
yep,
you.
exactly.
And with like us bringing up like Chris Silva potentially playing, it shows how much the Heat really need Bam Adebayo tonight. And I like he's going to play a huge role in this team, and I think 7,800 on FanDuel, that's still very fair for him.
I think he's trending up right now. Um, gives you, first of all, I thought FanDuel was gonna get rid of the 3 points per block and 3 points per steal.
Yeah,
Um, they didn't get rid of it this season, but guys like Bam Adebayo, that really helps out FanDuel. Um,
yeah,
but I don't like the 3 points. I mean, sometimes steals are some of the most blocks. Not so it's not as random as steals, but steals are just so random.
yeah. No, I completely agree.
Um,
And you always get that person that gets like 5 steals randomly in a game and just like crush value out of nowhere.
exactly.
And not look like they'd be a good play at all, but they just got lucky, get a couple steals, and suddenly it like changes
And
everything.
then you get a guy who drops 25 and 25 points, and he only puts up like 29 fantasy points.
Yeah, the Andrew Wiggins special.
Exactly.
So we haven't really talked about the Mavericks game at all. Mavericks Nuggets. What do you think about that?
Um, I think Luca is playing. I think Luca's playing better than he should be. If you go back and you look at his previous games, he has a lot of he's rebounding. What's he have? I think he's averaging like 9.5 rebounds or something like that. Uh, I just don't think his play is sustainable. But
Yeah,
uh, what's he priced at on? Let me see right now.
on FanDuel he's 10,400.
Let me see on DraftKings. Sorted. This is, by the way, if you're watching, these are our projections on our optimizer, and right now I'm just sorting it by projection. Yeah, Luca is 9,500 on DraftKings. Uh, I don't know. I mean, Trey Young is 9,000 on DraftKings, and I think you get that they could be just as productive.
Yeah, that's honestly crazy that he's 500 more on DraftKings than Trey Young.
Yeah. Give me just a second. I
Uh,
gotta
the,
I
the
gotta
one,
uh I gotta run some numbers real quick. There's four
the
people
one,
watching right. This is our first time ever doing a stream, so the format right now is a little bit clunky, but we're just trying to get people engaged. So for all four of you that are watching, feel free to send a message in the chat. Are you looking at the chat right now?
yeah,
Solo DZ was the last guy to say something. He said fade everybody.
yeah, at the very beginning.
Okay, I'm just gonna run some numbers real quick.
All right. Yeah, I think the thing against Luca, because I like Luca almost every night, but this Nuggets team, it seems like they're playing with a slower pace than a lot of other teams in the NBA, and they're a pretty good defensive team. So I could even see Gary Harris sliding over to guarding Luca. Like it's not like the point guard's always going to be guarding the other point
Yeah,
guard. So
exactly.
it's not like we're going to see like Jamal Murray on Luca the whole time, especially with Jalen Brunson as like on there as well. I think you can hide a defender on him.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really see like a harder individual matchup for Luca. The thing is I feel like every game Luca's almost like Westbrook at this point, where he has that threat for getting you a triple double. So like he still can hit value. Like he could get you a 30-point triple double pretty much any game, but I don't see it tonight. It has the lowest over under on the slate, and on FanDuel, if I'm spending 10,000, I'd rather spend it on someone else.
Yeah, exactly. I,
I
and yeah, like you were saying, the Nuggets are a pretty underrated team defensively.
Yeah, and the over under it's gonna be looks like it's gonna be a slower paced game.
Exactly.
What do you think about Kristaps?
Kristaps. Hold on, give me just 1 second.
All right,
I'm just sorry. I'm just updating some of these
no, you're good.
numbers real quick.
I do actually like Jalen Brunson as a GPP play for a bit lower owned. Kendrick Nunn at 6,000. I don't really have much interest in, and you could save some salary by getting Jalen Brunson at 4,500. That could potentially open up room. I like a lot of people on the Nuggets as well. There are a couple like shooting guards that can actually like really save you money, and they could potentially score 20 points for you. Like Malik Beasley, he's only 3,700, and he's still getting a good amount of minutes. And this goes with what you were saying about the steals being 3 points. He's a defensive monster. He gets steals pretty consistently, and he can really like stuff the stat sheet with that. So even if he gets 20 minutes, he can easily get 20
Yeah, for
points.
sure.
So
I
versus Phoenix on the 26th, he got 25.3 fantasy points, and then yesterday versus Sacramento, he got 21.2, and he's only priced at 3,700.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I
He's definitely got
like
some.
that
He's
kind of.
definitely got some sleeper value. Malik B. Yeah, 3,700. I mean, we have him projected 14.97, which is pretty in line with what he's been doing. But like you were saying, could be seeing more minutes
Yeah,
because of the defensive matchup. Could
and
easily get those steals.
yeah, and just in terms of like being like a GPP play, because everyone for these 3 game tournaments, it's not like it's like a 7 game slate or something like that. Everyone's going to be on the same people,
Yeah, exactly.
so you really have to differentiate your lineup somehow, and that could be a like possible way to do it while offering you that upside. Especially if you look at the small forward position, I don't see anything wrong with playing someone like Cam Reddish, but he's 3,700 too. I think Malik Beasley offers similar upside, even if he gets less minutes,
Right.
and it can help differentiate your lineup. Then, so I like roster construction for small slates like this.
Right. Sorry, I'm not a very good multitasker.
No, you're good.
Just trying to.
Then Will Barton also is an interesting play. I don't like much in the small forward spot, but Will Barton, he can get you 30 fantasy points. So that could also be someone you take a look at as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that a lot of those guys from the Mavericks Nuggets game like hit their value and kind of break the slate because there's not a lot of
Yeah,
value in that game because like you were saying it's got the lowest over under, but watch that game end up going like double triple overtime 140 to 130. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, and even if it doesn't like go like that, like one of these people's going to go off for the Nuggets or Eclipse value, so it's just about like getting the right
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
Like the Nuggets, they're literally like a team that's like 10 deep that even in the playoffs could be playing like a 10-man
Yeah,
rotation.
exactly.
So it's really hard to get it right, and that's why even Gary Harris he sees 4,900 because there's so many other people on the team. But I still think like Gary Harris, just looking at the amount of minutes he's getting and the upside, he's one of my favorite plays
I
tonight.
like Gary Harris too, and I think the default picks him up. Let me see. Yeah, the default picks him up at shooting guard. Uh, there really
Yeah.
isn't that many options at shooting guard.
Well, and the Dallas, their shooting guard defense isn't very good so far.
Yeah,
Gary Harris, he had a slow start to the year. Even it's still such an early time in the year, but his first game 12.6, then 21.6 versus Phoenix. Yesterday versus Sacramento, he got 27, so he's trending in the right direction. And his minutes, he's getting 30 minutes a game. Like he got 29 yesterday, but then versus Phoenix, he got 34. Versus Portland, he got 35. So, like, that's what I want from someone, especially on a small slate like this.
we got three people watching right now. um,
Well, I'm one of them,
oh,
so really we have two.
okay,
Hopefully, you're not another one
so we have
watching.
we have two people watching right now. Um, like I was saying before, for anyone on here who's new, this is our first live stream. Um, just trying to just getting a little bit of practice in right now. But if you have any suggestions for how you think the live stream should be formatted, any questions about the slate tonight, about specific players, feel free to enter it into the chat. So, I mean, really, like every team, you got like a big guy, and then you have like a middle tier guy, and then you got like those lower guys. Um, like right now, I'm looking at Dallas. You got Luca, and then you got Kristaps, and then the rest are, guys 20 and under. Same thing
Yeah,
with Denver. You got Jamal Murray and Jokic, and then you got guys 20 and under. There's not a lot of not a lot of depth tonight.
yeah. That's why most rosters are going to end up going to that stars and scrubs construction,
Yeah.
which I'm probably going to go with too.
Yup. Yeah. You see
So it really
tonight.
comes down to
Tonight's one of
just
those nights.
what?
You try to come up with your own sleeper picks. You could use the optimizer and try to construct your GPP picks with the optimizer, but I would enter the optimal, the default, as my main lineup into GPPs and your cash games. It's one of those kind of nights for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was planning on using the optimizer for the majority of my lineups and then just doing a couple of my own as
Yeah.
well. The optimizer this year, we've won every night pretty handily except
Oh
for
yeah. For
one.
those of you
So,
who are listening, uh, the two of you who are listening so far on FanDuel. There's only been one night. I think there's been how many nights total has there been? Seven.
um, it started on tonight's the eighth
Yeah,
night, so
yeah.
seven before
There's been
today.
7 nights, and on FanDuel, the default has won 6 of the 7 nights, and on DraftKings, it's been 4 of the 7 nights that the default has won. So I'll take those odds any day. Um, the good thing about FanDuel and is they dropped the lowest score, and that really messed with my ROI last year. The lowest score, like
Yeah, I hated
my
that.
ROI before last year, before they dropped the lowest score, was like over 10%. And last year, like after it was all said and done, on FanDuel, my ROI was like 4%. And the year before last year, before they had 3 points per steal, my ROI was even higher than that. I mean, I know part of it has to do with it's getting a lot more competitive. A lot more people are using optimizer like ours. Um, but still, though, I mean,
I remember last year being so frustrated, like because when you had the lowest score drop, sometimes it would be better to get a 3,500 guy that got you like 2 points, and then everyone else just crushing for you. And I remember being so frustrated when my lowest score dropped would be like 30 plus
yeah,
points,
exactly.
and then you'd see people ahead of you that
They
they
had a guy put up two
had
points.
someone with like 5 points being dropped,
Exactly,
and
but
it was very frustrating. I hated
the
that
thing
so
is,
much.
like, I didn't like locking in a mid price guy like a 3,500 guy. I liked, locking in. I well, naturally, like organically, a guy would get picked up organically. That would be, anywhere from 3,000, 3,500 to 4,000. So I'd rather go with that. Maybe a guy that's 3,800 but has really good value than going with a guy that's 3,500 but has no value because you never know what your other guys are going to do. I mean, it might end up being that one of your other guys gets dropped, and then your 3,800 guy ends up being, so it's just so much more luck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same concept as the steals and blocks being three. It just made it a lot worse for
Absolutely,
people, made it so much more luck oriented. Felt like you're like at the roulette table sometimes.
exactly. What do we got? No new news. I'm gonna be ending the stream in like I'm gonna say about 8 minutes, around 7:20.
All right. So, what about the Los Angeles game? And this goes with what you were saying about the other games that it's pretty much LeBron and Davis, and then just a bunch of
Yeah,
scrubs.
exactly.
Like the Lakers have no depth
I
at
mean,
all.
what
Dwight Howard's
one of
interesting,
those
but
guys, one of those guys is gonna, put up value, but the thing is, which one? Who the hell knows?
yeah, it's so hard to be able to predict anything
Yeah,
with them.
you're pretty much rolling the dice trying to see who's gonna put up value. Uh,
Yeah,
um, I mean, Dwight Howard, they have him priced at 5,000, so it's really hard to tell. I mean, you'd have to enter like four different lineups, locking in those other guys on the Lakers. So, to me, I'm gonna stay away from all those other guys. Um, on the Grizzlies, what do you think about Ja Morant?
I like him, but I feel like it goes with what I was saying earlier about the value on this slate. Like, I feel like he's just so high priced
I
already.
know they got him to
Like, he's 7,800
7,100 on
already, like
DraftKings on FanDuel. Let me go to the Grizz.
7,800. And he had that, like, huge game against Brooklyn where, like, he went off. He had 48.
Yeah, but and then the
But
previous
his
two
other
games he
games.
was in the 20s. So
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
uh, I don't think he's worth the 7,800. Uh,
Yeah, I feel like this is like people that play someone like John Morant in this situation. Sometimes it's just like you're like only taking into consideration recency bias.
exactly. You're looking at his last game. I mean he has to score 40 to put up value. And I mean,
Yeah,
how
not
many
I really
Minnesota
don't
guys are
trust
scoring
that.
40? I don't
Yeah,
I don't see how much exposure do you have to him? Yeah,
I
I
actually
have
have
zero.
none.
I have zero for him. I have zero
Yeah,
for Jaron
yeah,
Jackson. I mean, he's 7,400. Like, how is he gonna hit value? There really isn't.
yeah.
There, I don't see any
Well,
value in that game.
he's in a much tougher spot as well. Than past games. He actually, when they played the Nets, they went into overtime in that game, correct? Right?
Um,
Or,
I don't remember.
well, regardless, when he played the Nets, like it looked like he was in a great spot. And like, look at big men versus the Nets. Like, look what Cat did to start the year. Like the Nets, their front court defense isn't that good. So he looked like he was in a great spot, and he did pretty much nothing at
Yeah,
all. So, like against the Lakers, I'm not really too interested in him. I do like Anthony Davis. Just to get, I like getting like in these small tournaments. I like getting just like guaranteed
Yeah,
points.
exactly.
Even like I don't expect Davis to really get 60, but I feel pretty safe in him getting at least 50.
Well,
And I like getting those guaranteed points. You know.
I like him on DraftKings more than I like him on FanDuel. Um, Let me go to how much is he on FanDuel? I remember he's
It's
yeah
twelve
he's
thousand
twelve
three
thousand
hundred.
three hundred on FanDuel, which is crazy. On DraftKings, he's a little more
Yeah.
reasonable. Um, yeah, 10,300, and he's power forward slash center, so he allows a little bit more flexibility. So I like Anthony Davis a lot more on DraftKings. I think the default picks him up on DraftKings. Let me see. Yeah, you see the default picks him up on DraftKings because, like I was saying,
Mm.
he's that power forward slash center. Um, more flexibility with your lineup, and also, I mean, 10,300. Um,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah,
you
that's a
could
lot
lock in
better.
you could lock in AD on FanDuel, um, because he could put up value. I mean, if he scores 60, he's putting up value, and he could put up 60. Um, but I don't have that much exposure to him. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't have much either, but I still like having some
Yeah,
AD
exactly.
and on a slate like this. I feel a lot safer in that situation. I also think because of his inflated price on FanDuel, along with the blowout potential, I think a lot of people could see this game being a blowout.
Yeah,
I think that actually makes him a bit more contrarian of a play, and that's the kind of stud I want.
yeah. You know what? I don't
Especially,
think he's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be that heavily on FanDuel. And
yeah,
if you're
exactly.
watching the
I don't think
stream,
so either.
um, uh, I've been doing ownership projections for DraftKings football, but we're gonna be rolling out ownership projections for FanDuel football, and then we're gonna be rolling out the ownership projections for um, NBA for FanDuel and DraftKings. So be on the lookout for that. So far, the ownership projections for DraftKings football have been pretty spot on. Especially the showdown slate. You know the showdown on DraftKings for football. I mean, pretty much I could pretty much tell you what percent everyone's going to be at within a pretty good within a reasonable within reasonable accuracy. Sorry, I'm not a good multitasker. I'm trying to do a million things at once. But yeah, we're gonna be rolling that out for FanDuel and for DraftKings NBA pretty soon.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna do now. So if you look at the default 280, right? Let's lock in AD. Okay, so I locked in AD 277. So a little
Mm.
bit of a variance there. My rule of thumb, and
Yeah.
I've explained this in videos in the past. When I lock in certain guys or I stack certain teams on football, I like it to be within 2 points. Um, but 280 to 277 is not that much of a difference. So um, definitely if you want some exposure to AD, it wouldn't be the worst idea to lock them in.
Yeah, there is a lot of like other plays you can get on FanDuel from power forward position that could potentially be better for you. So I get why the optimizer doesn't like him as much as well.
Yeah, but
Um, if you have someone like Bam, he can easily get you 40 points tonight in a way higher paced game, and then that's really going to save you a lot of money.
yeah, exactly. And
So,
also
like, if you're putting
Jabari,
twelve
it's got
thousand,
Jabari Parker too, um, which 4400. I mean, there's pretty good value there. I think he's the
yeah,
highest valued player tonight. Let me see on FanDuel. No, no, actually it's Cam. It's Cam Reddish, and then Jabari Parker's next. So that's the reason default doesn't pick up AD, but you definitely got to have at least a little bit of exposure to AD tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable fading him completely.
Jose,
And Jabari Parker makes sense too. The Heat, they're a lot more athletic, and I think Jabari Parker fits really well matched up against them. So I could see him getting a good amount of run tonight.
hey,
4,400. Looks
shout
like
out to
actually,
Jose Conego. Signed up for the NBA package, so shout out to him.
thanks, Jose.
I shouldn't have used his last name, but he'll be all right.
The whole two people watching are gonna know now. I already forgot it, so I think we're good.
Oh, it's 7:21. Yeah, I said I was gonna end the stream. Uh, I feel bad for the guy who just tuned in, but yeah, we said we're gonna end the stream at 7:20. So thanks to everyone for watching, all two people. But we're gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be sending out tweets and I'm gonna be sending out tweets and scheduling these live streams way in advance so people will know to be able to tune in. Uh, if
Yeah,
you want to
I
sign
hope.
up, use promo code livestream. You get 15% off, and we actually have a free trial. So even if you sign up for the free trial, still put in promo code livestream because once the free trial is done, you'll have 15% off the monthly plan. You got anything to say, Ryan?
Yeah, just no, yeah, just check out the optimizer. With the if you don't want to sign up and spend money, you can do the free trial. My friend just did it recently, and he's made like $50 playing really
You talking
small
about
just in the
you
past
talking
couple
about your buddy
days. So
Josh?
no,
Oh,
Ronaldo.
okay, okay. No, your buddy Josh signed
Yeah.
up too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah. So just give it a shot. It definitely works out for you, and good luck tonight, everyone. I hope I didn't do too bad for my first
Yeah, this is.
time.
Oh, by the way, this is our first time ever doing this to the two people who are watching.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
All
gonna see
right.
you tonight, though.